Done.
Done, guys?
Done.
So now after this, we'll be starting with the chapter, which is your this. Okay. So let's just. So first is in this chapter. First of all, write the chapter environment and sustainable development. And then first topic we will be doing is environment. So ma'am, first of all, hashtag what is an environment? So environment is defined as a total planetary inheritance and the totality of all the resources. So environment is basically all the whatever Earth is a planet, whatever things are inside the planet, that is your environment, plus all the resources available on that planet are comes under environment. Okay, it includes all the biotic and abiotic factor that influence each other. So ma'am, what is biotic and what is abiotic? So biotic elements are basically all the living elements like birds, animals, plants, forests, fisheries. Okay. And abiotic elements include air, water, land, etc. Rocks and sunlight are all example of abiotic elements of environment. So first of all, you will write environment, hashtag environment, and then these two. Girls, let me know once you are done, okay?
Done, ma'am.
Okay, Halima, you are also done? Okay. Now coming to functions of environment. So first of all, these are the 4 functions. Just ignore this one first. See, first is what are the functions of environment? It supplies resources. There are 2 types of resources, renewable and non-renewable. So it supplies both. Plus, it assimilates waste. Whatever waste is there, it automatically assimilates it. Then it sustains life by providing genetic and biodiversity. So over here, because of environment, genetic and biodiversity are available in our planet, right? If there is no environment, there is no biodiversity. Plus, it also provides static services like scenery. So, whenever we feel like we want a picture perfect with the scene, the view is too beautiful like this. Why? It is because of environment, right? So first of all, you will write hashtag function of environment, first, second, third, and fourth. And after this, you will write this. What is the difference between renewable resource and non-renewable resource? Okay. So see, renewable resources are those which can be used without the possibility of the resource becoming depleted or exhausted. Okay. So this is what. So renewable are those resources which which you can use without thinking that they will be depleted or exhausted, right? Example of renewable resource are the trees in the forest and the fishes in the ocean. Okay. And next is non-renewable resource. So non-renewable resource are those which get exhausted with excretion and use. So if you will continuously use them, then they will be exhausted, like fossil fuels, right? And it takes millions of years to form the fossil fuels. So this is what you will write. First, you will write hashtag functions of environment. First function, second, third, and fourth. After that, hashtag difference between renewable and non-renewable. These 2 points. Clear?
Ma'am, but in renewable, we need air and sunlight. Like
Yes,
these
yes, yes.
can be finished.
Yes. Over here
They
as
are
well as
already
trees,
in
na?
danger.
Yes. Renewable is basically which, like for example, fishes in the ocean. Okay. So they are basically like, it's not like that you will fishes are basically, they will produce one after one after one, right? Similarly with the trees, there are so many trees, right? But fossil fuels are very limited already, right? If you will use them in very like large amount, then they will be extinct. You won't be getting any fossil fuels, right? For trees, for example, you are cutting trees and somewhere you are growing it, so yeah, there is a balance. But for fossil fuels, it takes millions of years to form a fossil. So it's no matter whether you are using the fossil fuel in a good way, like in a large amount, you cannot make them, you cannot easily renew them. Okay, that's why they are non-renewable. But the resources which you can easily renew, they are renewable resources. Clear?
Okay.
Yes.
Done.
Okay. Now, next question is what happened when the rate of resources extraction exceed that of their generation? So see, for example, if you are cutting down the trees, somewhere you are planting it, right? But if you will not, for example, you are cutting 10 trees and you are only generating one tree, right? So at that time, the environment fails to perform its third and vital function of life sustenance, and this result in environment crisis, right? This is a situation today all over the world, right? So that's why, because of this, right, what happens basically when people exact more and more resources and they don't do regeneration, that leads to environment crisis. So you will write hashtag what happens when the rate of resource this, and you will write this, and then we'll start with the current environment crisis. Clear?
What should we write?
You have to write hashtag what happens, this one, what happens when the rate of resource excretion exceeds that of their regeneration, then this answer. Okay, then after that we'll start with the environment current environment crisis. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, girls?
Yes. Done, ma'am.
Now coming to next topic, which is current environment crisis, right? So this is very important because this chapter is all about sustainable development and the environment crisis, right? So let's just see how it works. So first of all, the rising population of the developing countries. So we have two countries, one is developing and one is developed. So developed, they don't have any problem. And developing is basically, and the effluent consumption of production of standard of developed world have placed a huge stress on the environment in terms of first two functions. Okay, so basically, see, current environment crisis. So see, first is many resources have become extinct and the waste generated are beyond the absorptive capacity of the environment, right? So see, there are two types of people, one is developed and one is developing. Developed countries, they have everything, right? They have destroyed the environment in such a way that there is no absorption, like there you cannot pay for it, right? They have, like, for example, you are searching your top, for example, you and your sister, your younger sister, and you are there, you have a cupboard, right? You wanted a dress, right? So what you did, your cupboard was fully packed and everything, right? It was in a good condition, but you wanted that top. For that top particularly, like, you were trying the clothes which is suitable for you, you somewhere spread everything in the room, so you created a mess, right? Now when your sister will come, she also needs this, but she is also searching it, but again she has to sustain in the, you wore the top, you wore the dress, and you went away, right? So you already created the mess, right? But now who is struggling? Your sister is struggling, the younger one. So similarly, the developed countries, when they were growing, they, did everything. They cutted all the trees, they exploited the resources. Okay, so now the developing countries, basically they are facing the issue, and they have generated so much waste because they developed all the technologies and everything. Of course, the waste will be generated, right? And they are basically, you can say, beyond the absorb. Nobody can absorb it, right? The result, we are today the threshold of the environment crisis, and because they exploited everything in such a way, we are facing the environment crisis. Now, second, the industrial development has polluted and dried up the rivers because of industrial development. When you develop industry, they create pollution, and because of this, rivers dried, and aquifers making water an economic good, making an economic good. Okay, so other aquifers basically making water an economic good. Okay, now it's basically economic good is basically, now water is very precious for us, because earlier there were abundance of rivers, so it was like, now you can see earlier, in India basically nobody used to sell water, but now you are getting water bottle for 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, and 50 rupees, right? They are selling water because water is very precious now, economic now. Okay, now, third thing is the intensive and extensive excavation of both renewable and non-renewable resources has exhausted some of these vital. Vital means important resources, and we are compelled to spend a huge amount on technology and research to explore new resources. So basically, those resources which were important for us, everybody used them such a way that now they are basically, there are no resources. Now what you are doing, you are using different technology to find out some other resources, the alternative resources, right? Next, added to these are the health cost of degraded environment quality. Decline in the air and water quality has resulted in increased incidence of respiratory and waterborne diseases. Hence, the expenditure on health is also rising. Okay, because of this, what is happening? You exploited the environment. Because of this, what is happening? The health quality. See, decline in the air and water quality. Because of this, you are facing the issue in the waterborne diseases and respiratory diseases and so much. So again, because you are harming the environment, so it is automatically you have to spend more money on health. Then global environment issues such as global warming and ozone depletion also contribute to the increased financial commitment for government. So now, because of what we are studying environment crisis. Because of environment crisis, what is happening? This problem like global warming and ozone depletion are increasing, and now government has to contribute financially to stop all this global warming and to reduce the ozone depletion and all that. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you will write current environment crisis, first point, second point, third, fourth, and fifth point.
Done. Done, ma'am.
Okay. After this, we have the next topic, which is supply demand reversal of environmental resources. Right? So let's just see what is this basically. See, now this is supply demand reversal of environmental resources. So basically, in the early days, when civilization just began, or before this phenomena increased in population and before the countries took industrialization, the demand of environment, resource, and services was much less than their supply. Okay, this was a situation at the early time. Okay, this meant that pollution was within the absorptive capacity of the environment, and the rate of resource excretion was less than the rate of regeneration of the resources. An environmental problem did not arise. So this was a situation, right? Early phase, there was no civilization like that. Nobody was demanding, or everything was under control, right? But with population explosion, as the population started exploding, and with the advent of industrial revolution, to meet the growing needs of expanding population, things changed. Okay, the result was that the demand for resources for both production and consumption was beyond the rate of regeneration of the resources. The pressure on the absorptive capacity of the environment increased tremendously. This has resulted in the reversal of supply demand relationship of the environment resources. That is, we are now faced with increased demand of environmental resources, right? And a service, but their supply is limited due to overuse and the misuse. Hence, the environmental issue of waste generation and pollution have become critical today. So, this is basically, earlier there was no issues, right? But now with the explosion of population, everybody is demanding, right? And thereby there's a reversal relationship between supply and demand of environmental resources. And because of this, like hence, like many, because see, now more and more people are demanding, right? For example, over here I have two people. They are demanding maybe oranges. I gave them oranges. The they just peel it out and that's it. Okay. But for example, if I had 10 people, so the waste generation for 10 people is going to be tremendous, right? So hence the environment issue of waste generation and pollution have become critical today, because population exploded and everybody needs technology, right? So this is the problem. So for today, what you are going to do, you will just write this, okay, this one, and after that I'll leave. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. The whole thing?
Okay, no need to write, just write supply from here, with population explosion, this and this till here. Okay, first of all you will give a heading, supply demand reversal of environment resource, and this you will like, this is the problem basically. Because of this problem, supply demand reversal came. Okay,
The second para, everything.
yeah, second paragraph. Okay.
Yes.